Hello, welcome to the Motoring Middle East review. Today I'm checking out the Jeep J8. Now what is the J8, you might ask? Well, it's a special military version of the outgoing JK platform. It's made in Gibraltar by a company called AADS, and it's been imported by UAE dealer Trading Enterprises for a secret project which we can't actually tell you about. All we can tell you is that you'll be actually able to buy this car, this exact car, in a little while once it clocks up enough mileage. So it's the only one in the country. And a J8 is basically a military version of the JK. So there's a lot of heavy-duty suspension, there's an amazing canopy, and a 2.8-litre VM Moturi diesel engine. Now a diesel engine, you say, what's the point of that? Well, we're about to find out. Obviously comes normally with a Pentastar with about 280 horsepower. This has a lot less horsepower, it's about 200, but a ton more torque, 344 foot-pounds versus the 260 you get in a Pentastar. And of course it only comes with a 5-speed auto. So let's see what makes the J8 a Jeep for the desert. So this is the heart of the J8, the diesel engine. Now Jeep's actually going to put their own diesel next year in the JL. It's going to be a 3-litre V6 and a ton more horsepower. But for now, this is a pretty interesting motor. It's Europe spec. So it's got 4 cylinders, and the most interesting thing I can say about it is this bit. This is a cyclonic filter. So what that means, if you look up, you can see a cut hole in the bonnet. It's very crude. But the idea is that this engine can actually drive through a sandstorm for 4 hours in complete whiteout conditions. 4 hours! And people complain about a little dust storm here. Alright, so that's the engine. Otherwise, they're pretty much a stock diesel motor. And as we all know, they have incredible fuel economy, if not the most power. At the front, by the way, it's so light, they've even taken the Jeep badge off and they put stickers in there. This is a special paint which you actually aren't allowed to have in the Middle East. It takes special dispensation because this is a military color. Also very military is this front bumper. It's a steel bumper and it's got a Vaughan winch fed into it. It's a 10K winch, so it'll pull just about anything. This car has been pretty well used. It's been used for a lot of desert events and supporting TE on many of the dealer activities. So it's had a hard life, but it doesn't matter. It feels as rock solid as the day it rolled off the factory floor in Gibraltar. By the way, the Gibraltar company is actually licensed by Jeep to do this. So you might be wondering, why is there no big lift and big tires? Well, it's a military car. Military cars don't need to have big tires. They need to be strong. As a result of that, it doesn't have regular springs. I don't know if you can see it at the back, but it has leaf springs, just like they used to have in the 1920s. But they carry a huge amount of load, almost a ton, which is more than a Ram 1500. You also have these steel wheels. And again, you're thinking, why steel? Steel is way stronger than the alloy wheels you get in a regular Jeep. So they are quite strong. They're 17 inches and it's got 265/70 BFG tires. And there's nothing special about them. You can just go buy them from Alpha Tame like anybody else. But they are the strongest one you can buy. So they're quite small, but you don't need to have massive tires. The main thing is that will take a lot of beating. It's also got heavy duty suspension, but it doesn't look particularly fancy. So what else have we got? Oh, I should also point out, these are not your average steps. These are built to take a beating. They're also rock rails to hold up the car. There's a lot of stuff under the car which I can't actually show you because I don't want to get dirty. But the entire undercarriage is shielded for rocks, and it's not military grade. It's not going to take bombs or anything like that, but it's the closest we're going to get. And the axles are also very strong. They're Dana 60 axles in the back, and I think it's Dana 44 in the front, but they're also armored as well. And the reason you have heavy duty axles is when you're going to carry a ton in the back, you really don't want the axle to bend or snap. This is not a camping roof. This is actually an aluminium hardtop custom made for the J8. It conceals a roll cage inside, a very, very strong roll cage to keep the frame. So it's basically tall, so you can carry a lot of stuff. That's basically it. Otherwise, it just functions like a normal Jeep hardtop. But this looks really cool. Of course, you've got tail light guards. Oh, these bumpers also steel like the front. Now, let me draw attention to these things which I actually can't pull. These are tow hooks, right? Wrong. They're tow hooks designed to be tied to a helicopter. So if you can imagine, the whole Jeep sort of sits underneath a massive Chinook and flies out there. Obviously, there's nobody in it. But it's meant to be dropped into conflict zones. Now, what sort of vehicle has AADS made here? Well, actually, it's called a UCV, a light utility and command vehicle. Basically, it's for the big boss on the battlefield. So all of this is pretty cool. Oh yeah, and step for climbing, if you want to climb. Pin hook as well, again for the towing purposes. Underneath, you've got the diesel exhaust. It just points down. No fancy exhaust mods here. It's just hard-working, honest Jeep. I want to show you what it looks like in the back. Just the normal Jeep tailgate, a little bit stronger. If you're wondering why it's 2 colors, that's a good story, and I don't think I should probably tell you, but let's just say somebody may have made a mistake. This is the only place it says J8 here on this steel panel. Otherwise, and watch your head, watch it. Look how much space you have in there. You will stuff several dead bodies, as we are fond of saying in motoring Middle East. Oh, and this is not a love seat. It is actually where the batteries are. Yes, this vehicle has 2 Optima gel batteries, and the idea is that they're sealed, so you never have to open them, which actually is a bit of a pain if you need to air up your tires. But then again, these batteries will only be changed once, like every God knows how many years. They're probably the best batteries money can buy. There is also no sound deadening in this car, so it is incredibly loud and noisy and hot, etc. This is Line-X type material. It's basically spray on like bed liner, so it is very, very rough and scratchy, but it takes a ton of abuse. This is not Line-X on the roof. This is insulation to keep you cool in the desert sun. Otherwise, there is not a lot of mod cons, as we shall now see when we get into the car. So what can you expect on the interior of the J8? It's basically a Wrangler. Because it is designed for sort of higher up personnel, it is the sort of the front end of a Wrangler, and it is the interior for 4-door Unlimited. However, the big difference is absolutely no toys whatsoever. Nothing. So you have your normal gauge cluster, etc. here, but there's no radio. There is aircon, thank God for that. But in its place is these 4 switches. So you've got 2 switches here. They control the front and rear diff locks, so they pretty much run all the time, and you actually hear them working. Diff locks are used when you get stuck. This is a map light for those secret night missions, and this is the light control unit, or LCU to its friends. So if you press it up, it's a normal white light for reading in the dark. If you press right, it goes to a special infrared light, so you can use it with night vision goggles. And that ties into the left part, because the idea is you drive at night with no light, so the enemy doesn't see you. So in this mode, it's everything on, exterior and interior lights. Turn it to the left, interior lights go off. Turn it to the right, exterior lights go off. And if you turn this one, everything's off, and you are running dark, as they say in the submarine movies. This switch here is normally where the window switches are in a regular Unlimited. Instead, here you have the airbag control. So this actually turns off the front and rear airbags, because safety. And why would you want to do that? Well, in the desert, airbags have a nasty habit of going off if you hit a dune or something. So this means they'll never ever come off, no matter what you hit or run over, as it were. Otherwise, all pretty much your standard AC controls, 5-speed auto, usual 4-wheel drive selector, 2 cup holders, because the military likes a lot of coffee, and the usual Jeep console will be in here, which is the same. So it all feels pretty familiar. Again, you have this most basic steering wheel possible, vinyl. It's got cruise control. Right, the military doesn't like to hold the foot down for a while. Cruise control is great, love it. And you've got the normal, well, I'll tie it on and you see what it is. Fuel economy, temperature, distance to empty and stuff like that. But it does make a good old rattle when you turn it on. It sounds like a Sri Lankan bus, if I'm to be honest with you. It only revs to about 3,000 or 4,000 RPM. So it's not exactly silent running. I think that's enough talking. Let's see what it's like in the desert. So it's time to put the Jeep J8 to the test in the dunes. Now this is a military vehicle. This isn't really a dune basher. So let's see how it does. It's not designed for this.
You didn't say anything about bashing dunes and stuff. You said we were going for a gentle ride in the countryside.
Yeah, this is my idea for gentle rides.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
Let me out.
It's too late. The door locks don't really work either.
Oh, that's good. They got wind-up windows.
Yeah, when's the last time you saw a car with
Wind-up windows? I want my money back. How much do they want for this thing?
I probably shouldn't say. I mean, brand new, it probably costs around 200,000 plus.
Oh, boy.
But it's used now.
Yeah.
So go up there to Trading Enterprises and down actually, and ask for a good deal. Oh, we're going back onto the road, by the way.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah, that's it. Ride's over. That was fun.
That's it. That was good. But yeah, so the off-roading stuff was really good. It's really capable, and yeah, that's more than enough for me. I think on the road, it actually doesn't ride too badly. And,
it's on deflated tires.
It's on deflated tires. Well, that will give it away. What sort of tires has it got? Though? It's got these big old knobbly things.
Yeah, but they're actually pretty much the same tires. Look, it's
making a bit of noise, aren't they?
Well, it's deflated down to about 12 at the front. No, 15 at the front and 12 at the back, because you can't inflate it, deflate it that much.
So these are tires that it comes with.
Yeah, but you can buy them at any Alpha Tame Tire Express.
But are they for sand or for rock?
They're general purpose. They're for everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they should come with mud terrains, but where's the mud? Where's the mud?
So talking of deflating, can you do that from in here?
No.
Oh, I thought military vehicles you could do that.
You're thinking only of the Hummer H1.
Oh, right. Hummer
only
can do that,
the
yeah.
Hummer H1 could do that.
Yeah.
And I don't think they do that. Well, they do it now in some of the MRAPs and the hardcore ones.
I'm sure some of the newer ones must do it, yeah.
So does this feel like a military vehicle to you?
No, to be honest, actually it doesn't, because a military vehicle really is like...
Your impression is something like Captain Scarlet.
Yeah, no, my impression is something that it's a bit like a race car in that every sort of comfort, anything that's there for sound or insulation,
but there is no
comfort,
insulation or sound.
all of that is normally removed.
There are holes in the floor.
Yeah, exactly. So I would have expected it to be a louder, more rattly.
You want it to be louder than this?
No,
I
I was expecting it to be louder. I was expecting it to
pretty
rattle.
loud.
Yeah,
I'm yelling a little bit.
But even Jeeps tend to be on the loudish side. You know, they're not the last word.
You've just driven the Jeep JL, which is the next generation of this. Quick thoughts.
Right.
Quick thoughts.
I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was a great car. You know, I mean, it was just like a Jeep, but even more Jeep, if you like.
Even more Jeep.
In the sense that they've made it even easier to drive off-road. Now, I was doing not sand, not rock, but mud. And you know how much I hate... I don't like off-roading, and I definitely don't like mud.
You told everybody that would listen, and I was with your companion on my last trip.
I really didn't like it.
Look over the bumps, how nice it is.
It is actually very smooth.
I mean, leaf springs are supposed to be horrible. But actually, this is not leaf springs.
So, just to finish that with the JL, I mean, it was an extraordinarily easy car to drive in an environment that I was not familiar with and not comfortable with. So, having said that, I think it's a really, really good thing. And again, it makes me wonder why, when that car is, I think it's in the showrooms now, isn't it? It's on sale. Why would you be looking at this? And a diesel, I mean, okay, it rides really well on the road here, but it's a bit sluggish now, isn't it?
It is a bit sluggish. That's one drawback. It's not very fast, but it'll get you there. The idea is this car is unstoppable.
Yeah.
It's a workhorse. You can carry a ton of stuff in the back. So if you have a farm or whatever, this will carry everything, probably the camel. So this is a huge load lugger, and it can go everywhere that a heavily modified car can as well. I was shocked yesterday how good it was, but you're about to see, because the ride's not over.
Hey, I thought that was it. My car's just here.
No, we're driving past it.
It's just here, somewhere.
There's a lot of humps on Big Red.
There are, yeah.
So actually, we're at Big Red, we're at Bidayar, where all the people...
But there's no stereo.
There is no stereo.
I mean, what good is a car without a stereo?
You know what the dealer said to me when I picked it up? Maybe you should invest in a Bluetooth speaker for the next few days.
Yeah.
A cheap Bluetooth speaker to give you some tunes.
Yeah, you can let me off my car.
No.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
No.
Why is it making noises now?
Because, let's not run over these nice tourists. I mean, they're not even moving out of the way. They're just like, yeah, we're good. So I thought we'll give it a proper test.
So what have you deflated it down to?
I just said, 15 at the front, 12 at the back.
Right, okay.
So
why the difference?
Put it in four-wheel drive. The difference, because the front's where the engine is, so that needs slightly more air under the hood. I think let's take it up a bit and see how she does. So
diesels, I mean, often what I found with diesels, especially in this sort of environment, is that they're okay to start with, but then they tend to run out of puff, don't they, a little
This one's a bit special. For whatever reason, 200 horsepower, it sort of equates broadly to a Ford Ranger. But it does the job. Shall we go up and see how much it does the job?
Oh boy, I need to hold on to something.
No, why do you need to hold on to things?
Because you're driving.
Oh,
it's not even the car, it's just the fact that you're driving it.
I feel personally offended by that statement.
Don't we like driving the gentle bit? Why are we going along this ridge?
Can I point out that diesels aren't supposed to be able to climb this?
No, well that's what I was saying earlier, so that was my point. Typically what you find with a diesel is that they're great low down, but in dunes where you need sort of high-end, top-end power, they tend to run out of stuff, don't they?
No issue at all with this one, is there?
Also the suspension is actually very, very good in this. I mean, it keeps things very comfortable. It's not very jarring. Again, not what I was expecting for a military vehicle, for it to be comfortable. You know, I was expecting it to be quite harsh. You know.
I'm amazed that you can keep talking like this.
Yeah, exactly. I thought those army boys were supposed to be used to getting rattled around and stuff. You know, isn't it good for them?
How is it good for them?
I don't know. It just makes them tougher and stuff, I suppose, isn't it? But
look at this diesel.
So this is where I thought it would kind of run out of steam, but it seems to be going. I mean, the engine's making a lot of noise, but it still seems to be chugging along.
We're still going.
Yeah.
Look at that.
There you go, climbed over that bit. So not much need for ground clearance either. It just sort of pulls itself over. Just scrabbles along, doesn't it? Oh boy. Ah, see, got to move there.
Really?
Where you go? There's tourists over there. Watch out for them.
I can see them. They're very visible.
Can they see us though? But,
come on. We're in the army now.
I just feel like singing that song in this car, don't you?
Who sang in the army now?
I don't remember.
Somebody in the 80s, wasn't it?
I'd have to look it up. I don't want to go do that right now. I'll tell you that much. Not at this angle. Blimey. So
do you feel that this is a competent desert vehicle?
Yeah, I'd have to turbocharged engines. Land Cruiser coming the other way.
As you do, as you do.
So, yeah, good thing I had the window shut there.
Yeah.
We've got a sand shower there. Good for the skin though. But yeah,
I think I proved my point.
yeah, pretty impressive for considering that it's a diesel, because it is, like I literally said, I thought it would
But it's got
start to
plenty
run.
of power. It's got
I thought
the
it would
top
start
end.
to run out of puff towards the
The
top,
great
but it's
thing
fine. Yeah.
about a diesel is that it just keeps going and going. So the torque just keeps coming and coming and
It's a
coming.
bit of a train, really. It's a bit of a locomotive, isn't it?
So basically, you point and shoot it anywhere you can see out there. We can get to. So I like to keep going, but I know you won't be able to take much more of this.
Yeah. Did you bring any sick bags?
No, not really.
Oh, back to the car then.
So that was the J8, which you will be able to buy if. I
But
think
only one.
Only one.
One and only. One
Well,
off. This is it.
This is it. So if you want to buy it, go talk to Trading Enterprises. And if you ever buy it, let us know what you do with it, because it's had some adventures.
Well, let him know what you do. Let me know why.
He'll never get it.
Just
He'll
get
never
JL.
get. He'll never
It's
get
got like stereo and everything. It's so nice.
Yeah, but they're doing a diesel JL next year.
Yeah, but I don't know if we'll get it here though.
I've been asking them. I'm asking them now. I'm pushing the point.
But to be honest, even diesel, and this is an aside from the review of this car, it's generally, especially having just come back from the UK, I'm finding that people are going off diesel very fast, and I think manufacturers are going to have to rethink that whole idea.
So very quickly, why is that?
It's just because diesels have been found to be not as safe and environmentally friendly or human friendly as everybody was told, and everybody's pretty annoyed that they were led down that. They're a bit pissed, if you can use that word. Honestly, they're a bit pissed off that
But
the
not
government.
because of cars like this. These are working cars.
Yeah, these are working cars. This is a military car. But when you look at the amount of vehicles in a city centre, all SUVs in the UK pretty much are sold as diesels. You imagine the amount of emissions that you're getting out of those. They're soon going to be banned from central London. They're going to be banned from outer London, in fact, soon. By 2020, that emission zone is going to be extended to the north-south circular.
This is your house.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, it feels like diesels are starting to become, they're getting a lot of negative PR, and I'm not sure how much longer manufacturers are going to be doing this. So we're going to be looking at electric or hybrid and that sort of vehicle.
Hybrid Wrangler, that'd be interesting.
I think that's coming.
I think that is coming. But in the meantime, if you are going off-road, there are advantages of diesel if you're off-road. If you overland, travel huge distances, you get range. If you're in places like Australia, for example, diesel is easier to find than petrol. So there's a matter of availability. And diesel will get you there and back. And it's pretty reliable. The other reason you buy diesel engines, they're very long-lived. They 250,000, 500,000 miles, just oil changes. Well, they last longer than petrol engines. So there is value to it, and I think this car feels really tough. I've been putting it through its paces the last 3 days. I haven't found a dune that can beat it.
No.
And that's saying something, considering it's not a modified car.
Go and buy the car. It's never been raced or rallied, and it's always been looked after.
One careful lady expat doctor owner. Thanks for watching. Remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, and all the rest.
Thank you.